People are saying that this is the greatest piece of technology that has ever been created by humans. And I am going to tell you why Clawdbot, aka Moltbot, aka now OpenClaw, installing it on your machine may be the worst thing that you do this year, because that's what I did. I got myself a Mac Mini and I installed it on my machine and I made all the mistakes under the sun. And so I'm going to show you, if you absolutely must do it, then you must do it this way. I'm going to show you 7 use cases that you can use straight out of the box to run your business and make more money. So the internet is going crazy over this thing that now is called OpenClaw, this little lobster-looking guy, where people are buying up Mac Minis like crazy and installing stuff on them. Friends of mine are purchasing Mac Studios and filling them with $10,000 worth of specs. People are letting the Mac Mini run their company. Everyone is going viral talking about this. It's an open source AI agent that runs on your computer or a VPS, a virtual private server, and it connects to messaging apps and allows you to control them with some text or your voice, and then it does stuff basically autonomously without you asking. So it executes these commands, it reads emails, it manages tasks, all without you asking to do it. So once you've set everything up, it goes out and does things autonomously. It's basically Claude Code, which is Opus, with hands and scheduling and a messaging interface. So it's like your AI employee with its own brain who doesn't need to be babysat like a chatbot does. Now, there is a gigantic security nightmare because you are giving AI full control of your system without any enterprise-grade security. So there have already been, and I'm sure you've seen some of this stuff on Twitter, 900 instances exposed live online with no passwords, no logins. So basically anybody can just like walk in and take control of your Clawdbot and access your API keys, access your auth tokens, chat histories, keys, AWS credentials, passwords, root access. And so a lot of this stuff is being done on AWS, setting it up on a virtual private server. So if you are absolutely going to do it, first thing I would recommend is get yourself a Mac Mini and do it that way. At least it's a local machine that you have more control over. And it's more difficult for all this stuff to leak. Plus, info stealer malware is something that is being added to Clawdbot as a target list because most security teams haven't patched all of the things that are stopping that from happening. And so it's a massive security risk here as well. And this is a big one here, prompt injection. So the other day I found a thread on Twitter about all of the best Clawdbot skills. And I fed it to Claude and I'm like, go through this and pull the best skills. And what it did was it noticed that there were 17 crypto wallet drainers embedded in those skills. And so it's only a matter of time before the people who are trying to steal stuff from you get smarter than your Clawdbot ever so slightly. And then you install a skill without looking at it, without understanding the code, and all of a sudden there's a prompt injection inside it which makes it a crazy malicious piece of code that steals all your money. Like, that stuff is a possibility. And then of course there is the like, my brother even was telling me that he was playing around with Clawdbot. He doesn't use it anymore because it racked up a $300 bill doing a couple of simple things. And so if you don't use it correctly, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get all of your passwords hacked, all of your money drained, and it can also rack up credit card bills like crazy. Also, Claude sent them a cease and desist because of the name, and so they had to change it to Moltbot, and then they changed it finally to now OpenClaw, which, you know, I prefer Clawdbot, obviously. It's a lot better. And it's what everybody is talking about it. They're calling it Clawdbot. They're still calling it Clawdbot on Twitter and on the internet. But there was also this gigantic AI token scam, which made $16 million and then crashed when everybody rug pulled. And so the reason that everyone was going mad about it on Twitter was that a bunch of influencers were paid a bunch of money to push this, and so that you thought this was the next best and biggest thing, and you bought into this ridiculous token. So, quick warning before I get into the 7 use cases, right? Who should never use this? Beginners with no tech or security experience, people who have sensitive client data, people who cannot monitor things 24/7, and anybody who's not comfortable with things like firewalls, ports, VPSs. And look, I'll just say it. If you don't want to take any of these risks and be on the bleeding edge, like me and the people in my team and the people in my sphere, then this is not for you. If you want to wait for us to go and figure out how all this works and break everything and rebuild it so it's super secure, then this is not for you. You go to securemyclawdbot.com and then you follow the setup wizard where it takes you through the security processes that you need to have in place to ensure that you are not going to get your lunch taken from you and your shirt off your back, right? And you're not going to get robbed blind. So I suggest you do that. Now, this project is pretty phenomenal, I will admit. So if it was me, I wouldn't avoid it. Like I said, I'm running it currently and I'm testing it all day, every day. And there are a couple of things that I wish that I knew, and I want to try and communicate those things with you. So, for example, the security processes are here. Nobody wants to see that, though. We want to see the sexy stuff, don't we? So here is the actual superpowers and the things that you can do with Clawdbot, which have been a game changer for me. So now this gentleman here on Twitter, Banu, made this fantastic post that was blowing up a little bit the other day, where he talks about a complete guide to building mission control, how we build an AI agent squad. And so just like in life, if you are a generalist, you are not good at anything. So you want specialists. And what he suggested, which is makes so much sense, is that you want to have bots that are all specialists. So instead of having one AI assistant that does everything, you have multiple different AI assistants that are specialists in one thing. So you have Pepper, he's just given these silly names. You got Quill, and he's the social media specialist. You got Pepper, and he's the email marketing specialist. Loki, and he's the... Essentially, all it is duplicating OpenClaw multiple times across multiple bots, and then just having those bots go out and perform very specific tasks within a walled garden. And then having this like mission control where you can control all of the bots, and then you have one bot that controls all of them. So just like you would in a manager controlling specialists in their field and then reporting back to the manager. So really, really fantastic way of looking at things. And so what you can do is have specialist bots for all of this. So your morning brief. So I forget what I call my bot that does this. I think it's called Pulse. So it gives weather summaries, trending YouTube videos, lists of tasks for the day, and what Clawdbot accomplished overnight, trending news, anything that is trending on Twitter, etc. And then it briefs you with like what is happening right now. And then another bot here, lead generation and sales intelligence. And so I have an SDR bot that helps me with this. And so it scrapes LinkedIn for potential client matches, monitors competitor job postings, tracks funding and announcements, builds CRM lists automatically, extracts company contact information from websites, and then it also goes through and audits my pipeline every day and makes sure it reports back to me. These are the leads that need to get answered ASAP. And so you can save like conservatively 4 to 6 hours per week on prospecting, and you can have a much fuller pipeline with way more qualified leads, and nothing falls between the cracks, right? If one $100,000 deal falls between the cracks or is saved by one of these bots, wouldn't that be worth it? Of course, right? And then thirdly, you can have a content creation and research specific bot. So this is one I have yet to set up, but obviously doing it, like, given the fact that I create content almost every day, this is going to be really important for me. And by the way, if you want any of these templates or more information about these bots and how to set them up, I'm going to be posting everything inside the free Dopamine Digital School group. So I'm going to be linking things. I'm going to be pinning things here. I'm going to be also adding all of this stuff to the classroom so that you can come and it's all organized nicely for you. So in the past, I've added all the Miro boards and the SOPs and stuff here. I'm going to do the exact same with all of the content I put out around Claude Code and Clawdbot. So make sure you join there. I'll leave that link down below. Now, with the content creation and research branch, I guess, of your OpenClaw or Clawdbot agent, you can perform competitor scans on YouTube to identify trending or outlier content for new video ideas. And then you can generate video clips, add captions, and edit things using something called Remotion. And so you're basically like completely making your video editor redundant. And then you can have something which is a more of a personal bot, which is like your smart home brain. And it's not just automated, but it's actually smart, like it can make decisions, right? It's the brain center. So it can pull in things like weather API, your Whoop health, thermostat data, Apple data, whatever. And then it can analyze all the data points and then decide to either change heat, air conditioning, purify on and off, order you things based on your bloods and things like that. Like if things run out in your fridge, it can order stuff for you. You can give it a credit card that it can only use, and it can go out and actually purchase things for you. Like, guys, we are living in the future here. So as opposed to a quote smart home, right, where if it's just basically got if-then functions. It's like one rule, one action. It's a dumb trigger. Clawdbot understands, it checks the weather, and it can preemptively decide to make choices based on what would be the best outcome for you. Then you can have the meta ads commander, so you can go and you can look at competitors, and you can pull in you can transcribe the videos, and then you can pull in the best hooks of the day. It can look through your ads manager and give you daily alerts, summarize click-through rates, auto pause underperforming creatives, monitor everything else, and then it can even track A/B tests and declare winners and check landing page statuses. So what you can also even do is spin up complete done-for-you funnels using a AI bot that is trained on all the right stuff. And then you can go and do deep research on Reddit with an intelligence agent and find out why people hate project management tools, for example, or find out if there are gaps in the market that you can come and fill with a new SaaS product. So it can scrape entrepreneur, project manager, productivity, startup, SaaS, and it can find things that humans would miss and go, okay, well, most people are saying that pricing is a concern. Now, I remember doing this and it being a game changer for just one client one time, where I went through all their Facebook ads and looked through all the comments and looked through all the reviews, put them all into a Google spreadsheet and tried to identify which words were used more often than not, and then tried to answer those objections in the ad copy. And we made $7 million from that campaign. So imagine what you can do with AI like this. Clawdbot does what other agents won't. It reads context, finds patterns, cross-references sources, and it does it all without you writing a single line of code. You can literally just use your voice. And then lastly, the overnight code janitor. So if you're not a coder like me, like bugs are a really difficult thing for me to wrap my head around. And so everything can just now happen while you sleep, and everything can be rebuilt while you sleep. So if there's a bug, then the bot can go and audit that bot, pull the code base, identify the root cause, write and fix and test things locally, and then repush everything to your repo on GitHub and document why it happened and what happened, and then train itself on that to not do that again, and then notify the team. And so it's like a triage brain. It decides what to do, not just execute. So the key difference here, and the reason why it's so powerful, is that it's a set it and forget it thing. Now, when you first install it, it's stupid. It is definitely stupid, and it is not the dream that it was made out to be. And if you look at people like Alex Finn on Twitter, he's saying that the bot just goes off and does things for him. And I'm not sure that that's entirely true, because that's not been my experience. I have needed to give it a little nudge and program it with all of the things that it needs to go off and do. Think about it like Neo in the Matrix. Yes, he knows Kung Fu, but there was a point where you needed to put the thing into the back of his brain and give him the skill to go off and do the Kung Fu and learn the Kung Fu and actually empower him to go out into the world and fight. So the way that I see it is that every day I try to add skills. I try to empower my Clawdbot to be smarter and to go off and do better things. And eventually it's starting to do those things. But it doesn't come out of the box like that. Don't get it wrong. So you can give it goals and not workflows. And it's got context and memory. But again, I had to give it a whole bunch of extra skills and redo a lot of the coding in it to make it remember every single thing that I said. So it does not come out of the box. So don't be disheartened if you open it up and it doesn't go off and build you a multi-million-dollar business on day one. Now, it can plan 10 to 20 steps ahead, and it can make autonomous judgments. And it has this proactive initiative. So if you empower it in the beginning, it doesn't wait for triggers, and it sees opportunity and it acts, but it doesn't come out the box like that. So it's not consumer ready. It's not for beginners. It's not a perfect solution. Like I said, it doesn't come out the box with everything installed on it, and you just need to push go like we used to with Apple products. You need to actually go and invest some time understanding it, but I think if you spend 20 hours going and researching it, using Claude Code to make it smarter and update it and create some of these automations, it will feed off itself and get smarter and smarter, and it'll change the way that you live. Trust me. It is useful. It's open source. It's fun to tinker with. It's early and promising, and it's privacy capable if you do the right things. So it's an early stage tool. There was a crypto pump and dump involved in the process, which is unfortunate, but it does have incredible use cases, real world application. Yes, there are real security concerns, and if you have sensitive stuff on your machine, please, 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 Jesus Christ, do not install it on your machine, because it does weird things sometimes. And even the founder said, don't touch it. So you can actually train and create your own AI employee. And so I've never seen something so friggin' powerful. It's unbelievable. If you don't want to do all of this yourself and you want us to install these bots into your business for you, then go to dopamine-digital.io. This is my agency. I will create a free growth plan showing you what it looks like to plug in all this stuff into your business, where we are plugging in automations like this, or like this behemoth that we have here, all running through Claude Code, and everything automated with a whole bunch of sexy Clawdbot stuff going on in the back end. Instantly replying to leads as they come in. It's been absolutely game-changing. So if you don't want to build all this stuff yourself, then go here, click this button, fill out the form. If it makes sense for us to work together, I'll show you what that looks like. Worst case is you get a free 12-month growth plan, and I might throw in a couple of templates that I've just shown you for a lucky handful of people. So that'll be first link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments below, because there's some more Clawdbot stuff coming. This has been by far the biggest shift in my business in the last couple of years, and so I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.